Oh, can you hear me? Okay, super. Cool. So we are sharp on time. 1:31. Okay, so as you guys already know, we are in part 2 of the Java Streams API streaming. So live stream of Java Streams. We are studying Java Streams together. Now we are at, we'll be doing questions 11 to 21. We already completed questions 1 to 20 in the previous stream. You can see that on the notes on the right side. Okay, so we'll do a quick recap of what we studied in the first stream and then move on, if that is fine. Okay, because we did the first stream before yesterday on Saturday, right? Yeah. Okay, so some, what do you say, housekeeping. So I have pinned the GitHub repo in the chat. You can simply open that repo and clone the code and do the programs with me if you guys want it that way, or if you just want to watch while I am doing, you can do that as well. Okay, fine. So let's go. We started with sum of all numbers. So how do we do sum of all numbers in a given list? Anybody wants to write that in the chat? Int stream. Okay, right. So we did int stream, and then from int stream we did dot sum, right? Okay, fine. So we also saw that we can do reduce as well, which is more verbose, but the simpler solution is to do mapToInt, which gives us an int stream, and then from the int stream we do dot sum to get the sum. Okay, next we have, what do you say, find max number, which is also the same thing. We did int stream and then we call the max function on it. Okay, and then the third one, filter even numbers. For this, this is the first problem we did with the filter function. So in the filter function, we have to say what numbers need to be filtered. So since we are looking for even numbers, it should be divisible by 2. So num mod 2 means num divided by 2, and whatever is the output will be the remainder. So if anything is divisible by 2, the remainder will be 0. So we are checking if the remainder is 0 and it is even number. So whatever satisfies that condition, we pass it and filter them. Okay, and then we convert it into a list and return to our test case. Moving on, fourth one, we had convert to uppercase. So this is the first map function which we had, and we get any string and then we convert it into uppercase and we return it. So if you remember, there was also a easier way to do it, to uppercase. To uppercase. This also works. We have to remove this part, right? So you can write like this also in shorthand with method reference. Both of them give the same output. Okay, and then we saw remove duplicates, which is simply you get a map, int stream, and then call this distinct function. So distinct is the important API that we used. Okay, with that we got distinct values. Then we saw are all positive. So if everything, we have to see if everything is positive, or like everything matches something, we have the all match function. And if we have to see if at least one matches something, we have the any match function. Okay, so that was that. And then we have count string starting with a specific letter or something. For that, it's the same filter function again, and in the filter the function says if the char at 0, that is the first letter, matches the letter that was given, then we pass it. Okay, and then we get the count of that, and return. So it's a long value which we return. And the next one was square each number, which is again map. So any number that we get, we multiply it by itself to square it, num into num, and return it, and then we get the list. Okay. And to skip first n elements, this was the first kind of weird function API we saw, which is the dot skip function. It actually skips n numbers. So for example, if you have to skip the first 3 elements, then we say dot skip of 3. So here n will be 3 and we skip the first elements, we will get the remaining elements 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and we convert it into a string, into a list and return it. And then we had the 10th question, join strings. So here, since we are, I think this is the first reduce. Yeah, this is the actual first reduce operation, but we already, tried reducing in the first question as well to do sum, right? So reduce function takes in 2 inputs. The inputs are the previous result and the current input. So when we have 2 values like this, you can do a delimiter and then join using this. Or the simpler way is there is a joining collector. You can collect using that as well. Okay. So if you want very detailed explanation with, like, I wrote the explanation in my iPad with diagrams and all and showed. If you want that, just watch the first part of this. Okay, I created a playlist, you can go to that and watch it. Okay, so let's look at the today's questions. So the first question we have is find first element greater than n. Okay, so any idea anyone has how to do this? So the question is, given list of integers, find the first number greater than 10. Okay, so they gave 5, 8, 12, 3, 15, 7, and the output should be 12 because that is the first element that is greater than 12. Hey, I see you already wrote a big function in the chat. So you are doing mapToInt. Hey, part 1 functions you wrote. Okay, sorry, I thought you wrote the answer for this question. Right, so mapToInt, correct. Sum, max, distinct, filter, all match, map, skip, reduce. Nice summarization. I'll probably put that somewhere. Okay, thank you for that. So let's see this current question. So 11th question, it's asking 5, 8, 12, 3, 15, 7. Okay, so this is our question set, and they are asking what is the first number greater than 10. So when we are doing a stream, you go one by one and you see 12 is the first number that is greater than 10. You have to return 12. Okay, that's it. It's a simple question. Fine. Now, how do we do this with streams? So you take the numbers, do stream as usual, and then there is filter, right? The normal filter. And what should be the case? You get any number and then number greater than 10. Okay, dot first. So find first. There's a function called first. Return list, filter of x2 list, and then return. Right, so the problem with that, as you saw, right? So I'll go to the question, I mean in the chat you mentioned, right? So you said filter x and then x greater than, then to list. This is correct. So this will give us a list of all the elements that are greater than 10. Then we are doing the first element in it. This kind of gives the answer. The solution is correct, but the problem with this is that, let's say there are a million numbers. First of all, your list is actually going through all the million values, and then list.get of 0. So we actually constructed a list also of very big size. And another thing is, once you do .toList, you already collected it. So we have to try to do things within the stream itself, not outside the stream. Okay. So how we can do that is, it inbuilt in streams itself, there is a findFirst function, and findFirst is giving an optional integer. So let's take that first. Optional integer possible first. Okay, so the possible first value, we get this here, and we return possible first dot or else -1. So this means that if there is no first, do we have find n also? No, I don't think so. There is only find any. There is no find first. So if you have find any, it means that if you are in a parallel stream or something, any thread that returns the result, you will get that, I guess. So the behavior of this operation is explicitly non-deterministic. It is free to select any element in the stream. This is to allow for maximal performance in parallel operations, right? So when you are in parallel stream, this might be helpful. The cost is that multiple invocation on the same source may not return the same result, right? What if the question asks to find third element? Right, good question. So what we do in that case is we have our skip, right? And then we skip two elements because we want the third element, then do find first. So if there are, let's say, only one element which is greater than 10, then skip of 2 will return null actually, right? Then find of first will have an optional null value. I mean, yeah. So you will be having, you should be doing then or else and then -1. So there also it makes sense, okay? Oh, sorry. Right, so I hope that answered your question. So now what we do, we got find first and or else -1. Let's run this and see. Okay, so which one was it? Find first greater than. Find first greater than. Do you see it here? Yeah, here. Find first greater than passed. Okay, cool. So that is the 10th question. Here was the 11th question, sorry. Now we have the 12th question. Sort strings by length. Given a list of strings, sort them by their length in ascending order. So if they are given apple, kiwi, banana, pear, what should be the answer? Okay. Can you add one more test here for finding third problem? Maybe later in the video. Maybe that might come in the advanced problems is what I guess. So I'll just, I'll just write tip. If you want the third item in the list that is greater than, what do you say, threshold. Okay, so it will be hey, why did I write 10 here? This should be in threshold. Okay, threshold, then skip 3 and then find first. Okay, makes sense? Fine, thank you. Okay, fine, moving on. Sort strings by length. So this is our 12th question. Okay, we have a list which has apple, kiwi. What else do you have? Banana and pear. Banana, pear. Okay, so all they're asking is sort by what do you say, length of the string. So this is 5 characters, this is 4 characters, banana is BANANA 6 characters, and pear is again 4 characters. Okay, so they want us to sort it in such a way, this comes first, kiwi, then what, you have another 4, so pear, then you have apple, and then you have banana. Okay, they want it in ascending order, so you should go from small to big. So 4 4 5 6. Okay, so this is the expected result. Fine, so let's see how we can do that. Okay, so usual stuff, strings dot stream dot sort. Now sorted, when you say sorted, right, what does it do? Any idea? By default, so when you have the what do you say, Java doc here? No. Okay, what do you say? No, we mean not use sorted, right? So I guess you say not ascending order, I guess. Yes, it will give ascending order, but as you can see here, it will sorted in its natural order, which means that it will sort in alphabetical order. Apple, banana, kiwi, pear, it will come like that, but that is not what we want. Got it? So there is two types of sorting. The default sort will give by alphabetical: apple, banana, kiwi, pear, LMNOP, right? So it will give like this, but we want to sort by length of each string, so we have to say to it, right, that you have to do it that way. So how do we do that? That is where comparator comes into picture. So you have to say comparator. So okay, even now if you see in sorted, there will be two functions. So I mean, I'll show this. So you see there are two types of sorted. One is a natural order sorted, the other one takes a optional comparator. So now what I'll do is I'll give it a comparator and then say comparing, and I'll say, hey, where did it go? And I'll say compare what? String length. Okay, dot to list. That's it. So what we are saying is, we are saying sort, right? Then we are saying compare what? The length of the string, and then you sort it. Okay, let's see what happens. So we have to correct this into a string. List of string result equals this. Now result is this. Okay, let's run it and see. This was sort by length. Okay, so this second one, sort by length, passed. Okay, and that was the answer. Now let's say you want to do this in descending order. How would you do this? Because there is nowhere I wrote that it should be ascending order, but still it's sorted in ascending order. So how would you do it in descending order then? Reverse, correct. So this comparing gives a reversed function. If you do that, it will simply go into reverse order. So we can run it and see. It will expect banana, apple, but you got the opposite. So you got banana, apple, pear, kiwi. Like, sorry, it's written in upside down, but anyway. So it expected pear, kiwi, apple, banana, but we got the reverse, 6, 5, 4, 4. Okay, fine. So with that done, I'll remove this reversed. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the 13th question. Flatten a nested list. Given a list of lists, flatten it into a single list. Okay, so they have given two arrays, or like two lists. Okay, you have a list of integer. You want to flatten it to a single list of integer. Okay, so if you see conceptually, I have a list. Okay, this is a long list. Inside that I have another list, 1, 2, 3, comma 4, 5, 6, comma 7, 8, 9. Okay, this was which question? 13th question. Okay, now they're asking convert this into a single list. Again, one list which has all the numbers in a flat structure. 6, 7, 8, 9. No sorting, no filtering, nothing. They just want to convert a bigger list into a smaller list. Okay, fine. So how do we do that? If you do nested list, right, there is a stream. So we got the list of list and we are streaming it. Now in this stream, each item that comes in the stream is again a list. Okay, so what we have to do is, there's a thing called flatMap. So there is again flatMap. FlatMap is enough, I guess. FlatMap. Okay, so it asks what do you want to map it to. Okay, so the first thing you have to, so you have see two, okay, let me check what it is. It takes list of integer, then a stream. Okay, so I don't know the, here it is. I see. So I think you have to take a stream of the inside thing. So a list becomes a list dot stream. I hope that works. Dot to list. Right. So we got a, it's just a reversed comparator. Oh, I just saw your question. It's just a reversed comparator, or is it reversing the list? Good question. I think it's a reverse comparator. So it puts a not on the comparator for this question you're asking, right? When we put dot reversed, it reverses the comparator, right? Okay, fine. So here in this one, so what happens is when you create a stream of this, right, of this whole list, the stream consists of 3 lists again. So 3 lists you got. Now for each list you are creating new streams. Okay, so that is essentially what is happening in this area. So we got one smaller list from this big list of lists, right? We are converting that into a stream and giving it to the flatMap function. So it just connects all the streams together. So it connects this stream to this stream and this stream to this stream, so that in the end you get one, I mean, that is the answer here, right? In the end you get this big single list. Okay, let's run it and see. So list of integer result. Okay, so this was flatten list. Test flatten list here. Okay, so it passed. Fine. What is the need to create again streams? So the flat map requires multiple streams that it will connect to each other and create a single stream. So see here, it returns a stream consisting of the results of replacing each element of this stream with contents of a mapped stream produced by applying the provided mapping function to each element. Each element, each mapped stream is closed after its contents have been placed into this stream. Okay, I did not understand this at all. Okay, let's try again. So you have, let's say you have just one list called 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's call this stream 1. Okay, you have another list called 4, 5, 6, and it is called stream 2. And you have another list called 7, 8, 9, and you have stream 3. Okay, you have 3 separate streams now, and this whole thing is sitting inside a single list, and let's call that big list as big stream. Okay, it's like the parent stream. Now what you are doing is, first you are doing the parent stream. So you do big stream, right? And once you do a big stream, it converts in it, the big streams, what do you say, nodes in the bit stream, like the elements in the big stream are 3 lists, L1, L2, L3, which we saw here, right? This one, L1, L2, L3, these 3 lists are there. Now you have to flatten it. Why can't we do big stream dot to list? That will again give you a list of lists only. That is the problem. So the big streams signature itself is, it's a list of integers. So okay, let's try that. Okay, let me do this. This will become a list of list. That is a problem. See, it's a list of integer. Can we run it and see? We cannot run it because it's a compilation error. Is this, if you want to convert the what is a returned item into a list of list, I can show that. Is that what you want? Because that will again be a 2D list only. No, okay, fine, got it. So that will again be a 2D list, like a list of lists. So we are converting a multi-threaded thing, multiple thread thing into a single one line. So that is what is happening here. So sorry, so it became big stream, right? Now big stream, for each item in the big stream we are creating the streams. That is what we saw: str1, str2, str3, str1, 2 and 3, and we are connecting them with each other to become one list. So that is what the list we got in the end. Does that make sense? I hope you don't say no again for this. That makes sense. So which part did you not understand here? Let me think in some other way. Maybe I think when we see more complicated problems, you might understand. Let's do some modification to this itself and see otherwise. Okay, how else would you approach this question? Let's say you never knew this solution, okay? How else would you approach this question to convert this array of array or the list of list into a single list? You would construct a, you should be constructing two for loops, right? One for loop to iterate through the bigger list and another for loop to iterate through the integers. Let's say, okay, let me write that here. So I'll do for list of integer, a list in the bigger one, nested list, right? Then what will I do? Again for integer and integer in a list. Okay, then what will I do? Let's say list of integer, another result equals new array list. So I'm manually doing this. So if you are manually doing this, this is what we do. We do another list dot add an integer, right? And then we should return another list. So if this will also probably give the same result only. Shall I run the test? So this was flatten list, right? Test flatten list. Where is test flatten list? Right? It passed. So if you see here, we ran one iteration over the bigger nested list, and then we ran another iteration over the list, and then we got all of the answers, right? So the similar thing is what we are doing here. When we do the first stream, dot stream, right, we are actually splitting the nested list into multiple streams. So we got lists from that stream, like separate smaller lists from that stream. Then we are doing dot stream on that smaller list again, right? The smaller list again. So we got integers actually. And then we are converting all that integers into .to list. We got a list of integer in the end. Does that make sense? If this is also confusing? I see no reply. Does that mean you understood? It's okay. Okay, then we'll come back to it. Fine. For now, I'll write it like this. And I'll write naive solution. Okay. Hey, am I getting the comments properly? Let me see. I just got, can we run it and see? No, it's okay. Okay. I'm just making sure that the comments are coming. Fine. Let's move on. Oh, let's move on to 14. Okay. Find average of numbers. Example, given a list of integers, calculate the average. Okay. So if you guys remember from first question, when we did the sum, we also saw the average function, right? So let's do that. Numbers.stream.mapToInt. I'm going fast because this is closely related to the first one itself. Okay, integer value dot average. Okay, so we will get the average. Double average equals, hey, it gives an optional double. So optional double average equals this. So we do average or -1. Okay, so just check once if you guys can understand this. If not, let me know. Clear? Okay, fine. So we'll run this, calculate average, test, calculate average. Yeah, it's here. Okay, passed. Fine. So just to quickly recap, we are doing map_to_int because we need an int stream, and int stream is what gives us the average function, because only on like numbers or something, integer or double or long, the number kind of data types, we can perform numerical operation like sum or average. So we have to convert it into an int stream. Okay, fine. Moving on, 15th question. So after this we'll take a break. Okay, after 15th question, partition list into even and odd numbers. Okay, this is the first time we are going to do partitioning by. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So first thing we have to do is, where's our numbers? Numbers dot stream dot, we immediately collect. Okay, now the collector is what is going to do all the job. So collectors dot partition by. Okay, now in the partition by, you have to say what do you want to partition it by. So we are going to we have to actually kind of give a filter here. So the filter will either return true or false, right? So true becomes one partition, false becomes another partition. What do you mean by partition? Tool is, oh yes, 1 second, let me draw that. So question number 15. What is the 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? Okay, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now they're asking it to partition odd and even numbers. Now what are the odd numbers? 1 3 5. And what are the even numbers? 2 4 6. Okay, that's it. Now how do you partition it? You say evenality, like is it even or not? Is even. Okay, so this is true because it's even, this is false because these are not evens. So we, how do we store it? We can store it as a map. So false values are these and true values are this. So this becomes a map of boolean comma integers. Sorry, list of integers. List of integers. Okay, so in that one will have false and then have a list of 1 3 5. Another will have true and have 2 4 6. What will be a generic question to this? In other words, without saying partition, how else can they ask this question? So this is a very basic thing they have given, right? Let's say they give another question like um, segregate elements into groups where you can say create a map of even and odds. Yeah, that's also correct. Or in other words, you can say create a map of numbers divisible by 2, numbers divisible by 3, numbers divisible by 5. So in that case, your map will become something like, let's say 5, and then you say 5, 10, 15. Then you say 10, then it becomes 10, 20, 30. So the list should have all these numbers. Then it will create a map of that. But I don't think this actually comes in that. I think this comes in group by. So there is one more collector called grouping. So sorry, this is wrong example. So yeah, this is correct. The simplest one is that only. So create a map of even and odds. I think in most of the case where you just want a Boolean kind of thing, right? Like you want a map of everyone that is greater than 25 and everyone that is lesser than 25, like everyone that is that can get a PF, that cannot get a PF, something like that. So you get a simple map of true and false, and you can probably send it to like two separate functions saying everyone who has PF add PF, everyone who doesn't have a PF doesn't that. Maybe something like that. That might be like the actual use cases of this function. Okay, so only when we want a map of Boolean something, only then we can use partitioning. That is correct. So this partition, where is partition, right? Partition by always returns a map of Boolean comma list of something. See, it doesn't return anything else. It's not an object or it's not a question mark. It always a Boolean of map of Boolean comma list of something, right? You actually wrote it correctly. Map of Boolean comma something. Okay, fine. So let's do that. Num mod 2 equals 0. And then we do dot. Oh, sorry, this is already a collector. We collected already. I was going to collect again. Can you rewrite the question line number 256? Currently, it gives us away the answer. Yeah, that is correct. So, what 296? Partitioning by groups numbers by predicate even equal to. This is a hint actually. So, I'll remove the hint so that people who are studying will know that there is a new thing like this. Okay, 286. What is in 286? Oh, this one. Okay. So what do you want to say? Create a map of even and odds. So convert the list into even and odd number lists. Okay. I wrote like this. Again, there is partition here also. Fine. 288. Yeah, 288. Okay. So there's a partition here also. Let's see if people are taking that hint. Fine. Moving on. So we got numbers.stream then .collect. So I was looking for a collect. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Collect again. So this is the result. Result equals this. And we return the result. Let's run this. So this was partition even and odd. Partition test partition even and odd. Where is it? Here. Okay. We passed it. Okay, so that was question number 15. So how long has the stream been running? 46 minutes. Okay, so we'll do the remaining 6 problems. So 16 to 21 after a break. Okay, we'll take a 10-minute break. Okay, so see you guys after that. Thank you. If you have any questions, meanwhile, just post it in the chat. I'll come back and reply. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, I think I'm having a bad throat. Fine. So anyway, I just placed a live chat here. If you guys, hi, hello. If you guys are having issues with the chat, you can see that also. If it's not showing up there, then it doesn't show up for me. You can try to post again or something. I don't know why YouTube has this issue. Maybe if you chat a lot in a short while it filters, I am not sure. Okay, so anyway, moving back to the stream, 16th question. Find second smallest number. Wow, cool. Thank you. Given a list of integers, find the second smallest number. Okay. So, question number 16. 16, and the input is 10, 5, 20, 8, 15, 3. Okay, so they're asking the second smallest integer. Second smallest. So how do you find it? First thing is sorted. I see you answering already. That's correct. Fine. So first you sort it. So you get 5, 8. What's next? Oh, there's 3. 3, 5, 8, 10, 15, 20, right? And then, as you already mentioned in the chat, you skip the first element. You skip one element. So you got this one. And then you return it. But the problem with skip is you won't just get this 5. You get this whole list. So how will you get just the first element? Yes. Okay. So what I am thinking is we can do dot limit of 1. You give up. So I am thinking you can do dot limit of 1, which will limit it to just this answer. But then again, that will give another list of integer only, because you can even limit to 3 items also. You can limit to 4 items also. So limit of 1 also again returns one element only. I mean, a list of numbers. You can then do dot get of 0, but then it goes outside the stream. You should try to do things inside the stream itself, right? So what do you do for that? So you have find first, which will actually give the first element, right? So can we do something with find first is what I'm thinking. Exit as soon as I found the second item. Oh, so they are asking you to say only the first 2 items. That is actually nice. I mean, I didn't think of it. So what you're saying is you sorted it 3, 5, 8, 10, 15, 20. Then they say you need only the first 2 items, right? So you limit it. You do dot limit on it and say limit to 2 items. And then they want the second item in it. So you do dot this thing. But no, I think there is a way you can take it like that. Okay, let's run it and see with whatever we know. Okay, whatever we saw so far. Let's do numbers dot stream dot sort, which will sort it ascending, right? Then do dot skip. Oh, skip gives us a stream of integer. Okay, so skip one element. Then you can do find first, right? That's it. Oh, sorry, what did I do? So what does this give? This gives an optional integer. Optional integer result. Let's try. Oh, sorry, or else -1. Okay. So do you think this works? Let's see. This was find second smallest. Test find second smallest. Where is it? Here. Yep, it worked. So what I was assuming is skip gives a list. No, it's correct. All right, find first here acts as exit on first. Correct. Okay. So you are skipping one and finding first. It's like indirectly saying find the second element, right? Nice. So that is done. Moving on to the next one. Convert string array to map with length. Example, given a list of strings, create a map with string as key and its length as value. Example, you have a apple, banana, kiwi, and output should be apple is 5, banana is 6, and this is this. Okay, and they gave the answer which we don't want. Okay, so convert string array to map with length. Okay, so this is question number 17. Let me write it and then show the iPad. It's apple, banana, kiwi. Okay, so what they want us to do is create a map of string and integer. And what should be the value, key value? The key should be whatever is there here itself. Key should be whatever is there here itself. So apple is the key and the value should be length of apple, 5. Then it's banana, value should be 6, the length of banana. Then kiwi, value should be length of kiwi, which is 4. Okay, so that's the question that they are asking. Fine. Now let's see how we can do it. So I think this is something we have not used so far. So we have to do strings dot stream dot to map. Sorry, to map. What is it? Map to I think it's a collector. Yeah, collector, collect. So collect. Yeah. So you have collectors.toMap where you have to say what is the, so you see it takes two functions. The first function is what is the key and the second function says what is the value. Okay, so you say toMap and then the key is simply string value of. So whatever is the value of the string that is coming in, that is a key. And what is the value? Value is string length. Okay, dot collect. Oh, it's collected already. Okay, that's it. So just look at it, see if it makes sense, and if you have questions, post it. Okay, no questions, I hope. So let's run it. Map of string comma integer result equals this, and we'll return the result. Okay, let me run it. String to length map. So test string to length. Yeah, okay, that also passed. Can it have long as value? Yes, it can, but since the length function gives int as the return type, we have to do that. So you can even have different things. Let's say you can, so this is not restricted like how you saw the partition by. Here you can even say string to uppercase, for example. Okay, so what will be the answer? The answer will be a string map of string comma string in which the key will be apple, small letters, and the value will be apple in capital letters. Similarly for everything, right? So that is how this mapping function works. Okay. Okay, fine. Moving on to question number 18. Limit stream to first n elements. Example is this. Example is this. Explanation. They're saying to use this, but we already know the limit function. We have to simply use this. So I'll explain the question again. So 18th question. I'll write the question. 10, 20, 30, it's up to 60, right? Yeah. 40, 50, 60, and they're saying limited to just n number of elements. So let's say n equal to 3, then we have to simply limit it to this much, the first 3 elements. And this will again be a list, right? Yeah, limit. Right, so we have seen limit already multiple times, so we know what to do. Okay, so we do numbers dot stream dot limit n. That's it, simple. So list of integer, okay, so we are still in level 1 questions, that's why it's so easy. I don't know what nightmare will be in level 2. There's an oh, I didn't collect, beginner mistake. Okay, so this is get first n. Get first n, where is get first n? Test get first n, right? Passed. Okay, with that we have 18 done. Let's move to 19. Check if list contains a specific element. Example, given a list of strings, check if it contains Java. Example is this, and output is true. I don't explain. Okay, fine. Find, so find, I don't think there is a find, just find. That's the thing. So let's see. Okay, let me explain the question. 18, this is 19. Let me write it. Python, Java, C++, and JavaScript. Okay, so let's say the example said you want to find Java, right? So we have to go through this whole thing as a stream and then say if it contains Java or not. So it's probably true or false. What are they expecting? Yeah, it's a Boolean. So they're saying true or false. So you have to say true if it's there, false if it's not there. So it's the simple list function. So if you know, list already has this function. So if I can simply do strings.contains and then say Java. This will already give a Boolean value only, but we have to do it with string. So it's little, you have to do that extra step to do it using strings. Okay, so if I return this, this will already pass. If you want, you can see that. Let me run this. This was contains element, right? Test contains element. Is it there? Here. See, test contains element already passed. But since we have to use streams, so in this is a naive method, so without using stream. So I'll write that here. Naive solution. Now let's try it using streams. Strings dot stream dot. So I think we have to do any match. Right? Correct. Or if, as you say, if you do find, oh, find any, you mean, is it? Is there exists function similar to SQL? You mean in stream? Exists? No. I think match is what is closest to exists. Like, does it exist or not? Now my question is, should I use match or find? Because find will work only when you have a filter first of all. So when you have a filter, it will give you a find, right? And that it will give you one answer. But I want to check, right? So okay, so this is correct. Match is giving Boolean output as well, Boolean return type. So we have to go with match only. So you have to see if anything matches, right? So any match, and you have to see str dot equals and element dot. Why is this not working? Oh, it's just boolean. Got it. So boolean result equals this. We didn't discuss match. Oh, we didn't discuss match. Match was there in there was an all match, right, in the beginning. Match all. Remember? For no? Here, all match. So if to see if all are positive, we did all match. So that returned if all numbers are matching the given condition, that it's all greater than 0, for example, the positive. Now we have any match to see if at least one item in this whole list is equal to the given number. Okay, got it. Fine. And given number means, I mean, given string. With that, contains element is done. Second last question. Group strings. Let me remove the hint. Always the hint is confusing. So example output. Okay. So group strings by their first character. Given a list of strings, group them by their first character. Example is this, output is this. Okay. Let me use contains when you just want to check if an exact element exists in the list. Use stream of any match when you need custom conditions or flexible matching. Right. Makes sense. I mean, contains simply checks the dot equals. So if you want anything more than what contains can do, you have to use something like stream. Right. Okay. Move. So 20th question. Let me write the question. Apple, banana, apricot. Oh my god, there is so many fruits. Cherry, avocado. Okay, so from this list, they want us to construct a map which will say letters starting with A are apple, apricot, and avocado. Okay, starting with B are banana, starting with C are cherry. Okay, so they want us to construct this map. So it will be a map of string, or you can say character even. Okay, map of character, because it's just one single character, right? Comma, list of strings. So for each character, there is a related list of items. Okay, so that's the question. Now let's see how we can solve it. Right, it's map of character only. So you do strings dot stream dot collect. Okay, now in collector there is a collector called grouping by, which says what do you want to group it by. Okay, so group by, you just say str for each str dot char at 0. That's it. So what you're saying here is group all the elements in this. Why not collectors.toMap? The toMap function, what it will do is, I'll say, the toMap function, what it will do is, it will build a map. Okay, so you can say take the first character as the key function and the second, the whole string as the value function. When you do toMap, it will take A and it will put apple, right? Then what is the second one? It will take B and put banana. That is not our problem. The problem comes when you get another A. When you get this apricot, it will create a conflict because there is already an A in the map. It will ask, what do I do here for this, what do you say, apricot? There is again a workaround for that, for the conflicting, if there is a merge conflict. Can we run it and see? Yeah, we'll run it. So let me finish this first. Map of character correct. Am I typing this? I'll just copy this. Result. Okay, this is the result. Let me run this quickly. Group by first character. Okay, everything passed. Where did 21 pass automatically? Fine. So now let's see. What is the one you asked? To map, right? So let's say I'm doing strings dot stream dot collector dot to map, and then I say the key function is str dot char at 0. Okay, and then the value is simply strings value. Okay, and I collected in the same thing. I'll make it result 2. Result 2. Oh, what happened? Okay, first of all, it doesn't return what we want, I think. Okay, it returns it doesn't return a list of strings. Okay, so that is first thing. So you will get it like this. Now you will see the merge conflict happening. So if I simply run this itself, I think that conflict will happen. So you see here, it says duplicate key attempted. Let me make it bigger. It says duplicate key A attempted, merging values for apple and apricot. So when it tried to merge apple and apricot, there was a duplicate key A. That was the problem. So to-map always expects a unique key. Why would we ever use to-map then? It's each person's own character. For example, you want to create a map of apple, and then what is its length? So that was what we did initially, right? In one of these examples, where is that? See, so if you want to say apple and its length is 5, banana and its length is 6. So for their own respective property, you can do something. For that, to map will work. But if you are going to accumulate things, that is where the grouping by happens, because you are literally grouping it. You are not mapping it. To map is mapping each element into like its own kind of thing, its own property. But grouping by is actually taking the properties of these things and creating a separate group. So one more thing is there here, which is out of scope. To map, when a conflict happens, you can say what to do. So I think that is this function, value mapper. I don't know the syntax of it. Let me see. You ask something. Okay, in to map, we have only one element as key and value. Correct. It's just character and string. You can't have a list of strings. So in what do you say, grouping by, when the second character element comes, right, it just adds to the string. It appends to the string. But in to map, you can't do that. So in to map, the other thing you can do is resolve merge conflict. So there will be an option for that. There is to list. Oh, I'm in the wrong function. Where is to map? To map, right? Let me see the next one. Okay, let me type it so that it will autocomplete for me. To map. So you see there will be one function which says merge function. So this merge function says if a conflict happens, what should we do? Okay, so let's try that. So I did string.caret and then string.value of, and then I'll put a merge function which says if A and B two values are coming, then I'll just return A. Okay, I mean, I'm not looking at anything else. If a conflict happens and it says there is already a value for apple was already there, then apricot came in, so it's like A and B are apple and apricot. Then what should I do? I can either say like do a string concatenation, do A plus B, that will also work, but I'll just simply say return apple. I don't need apricot, ignore apricot. Okay, so this will compile now. I'll do a sys out here so that you can see what is happening. Okay, and run this. Where is std out? Okay, so it became A is apple, B is banana, C is cherry. So whatever was the first value that came for apple, that will stay till the end, because I am saying A, right? A is the first value. So if I set this to B now, it will probably go to avocado, because that's the last value, right? So it will go to avocado. Let's run it again. So it went to avocado. Got it? I hope that's clear. So we will comment this out. And we will move on to the last question. Awesome. Example output. Filter employees by department. Example, given a list of employees, filter all employees from the IT department. Example is this. Output is whatever this is, only employees from IT department are returned. So this is kind of the first advanced kind of problem which they are giving, and we'll see how we can solve it. Okay, so let me write the question down in my iPad. 21. So this is the last question of EC level, and this is a little bit advanced. So they gave Alice HR and her salary, we don't care. Then they gave Bob IT and his salary, something 80,000. Then they gave Charlie HR 70,000. Oh, there are so many people. David IT. Oh, 3 people only. David IT 90,000. Okay, 4 people. So they gave this list of 4 people. Now what they wanted to do is filter out only the people that are in a specific department, and the department they asked is IT, is it? Yeah, filter all departments employees from the IT department. So we have to return only these 2 people. This Bob, green. Okay, this Bob, this Dave was his name. I can't understand my own language. So Dave, we have to return these 2 people. So it is again a list. We have to return a list of employees only, not like their names or anything. They didn't ask just give the names of the employees or anything. They want a list of employees only, and that list should have these 2 people. Okay, these 2 people in the list. Fine. Okay, so moving on. Let's see how to do that. Employees dot stream dot our usual thing, filter. Now when we filter, in the filter what should we do? We should filter the department. Okay, hey, sorry. Okay, it's just simple. Custom lambda, I will come to that. So stream filter. So it's as simple as that. We are just running a stream, and then we are filtering out the employees. So in the filter, we get multiple employees. For each employee, we are checking if the employee's department is equal to, what do you say, the given department, this department, which we got in the input. Now Divya is saying use custom lambda, but the problem in custom lambda, you mean to write a new like custom function? Is that what you're saying, or you're saying method reference? You already wrote it. Oh, okay, fine. Okay then, so this is the answer. Let's get the list of employees. Okay, and I'll return that. Run it. So it's already passing. I don't know why this was already passing. Filter by department. Do you see it here? Test filter. There is no test case for this. That's why it was passing, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, see, there is no test for question 20. Let me write that. test filter by department. Okay, so list of input, or should I build all that now? List of employee list dot of new employee, sorry, so employee takes in string double. So what is the string double? Okay, Alice HR 6000, right? So I'll just write stream buffering. Yeah, I think there was some small issue. HR, and then was it 60,000? 60,000. Okay, why is this showing an error? The constructor string int is not defined. So what is defined? Is it double? Okay, I'll just mark it as double. Happy now? No? Should I put dot zero? Okay. Okay, now I need to create 3 more employees. Copy. Who is the next one? Bob. He is in IT. He makes, I don't know, same amount. The salary actually doesn't matter because we are not filtering by that. Charlie, HR, same. And then last person is Dave, IT, some salary. Okay, I'm not altering the salary because that doesn't matter for us. Now you have to do, okay, assignment dot filter by department, and you give this list and say I want only IT people. Okay, why is this erroring? Cannot convert from list of employee to map of character. Oh, this one. Okay, list of employee. Okay, we got the result, and we have to make sure that assert equals, and the expected result is this thing where HR people are not there. So we remove HR guy and we remove this HR guy. Okay, I don't know if you guys want me to explain this writing of test case. This test case was missing, so I just wrote it. Okay, if you want me to explain it, just let me know. Okay, so this should be the proper test case. Let me run it. Yeah, it passed anyway. So where was that? Test filter by department. Is it there here? Test. Yeah, test filter by department passed. Okay. Now I'll ask one small tweak to this. Okay. Instead of list of employee object, I want the list of employee names. Need a complete video on JUnit. Okay, we'll have JUnit some other time. Okay. The next live stream is planned for the difficult problems of this one. We are in L1, right? We'll be doing L2 and L3, L4, L5. There are multiple live streams coming. After that, we will look into JUnit. Okay. I'll add that to my backlog. Okay, so did you guys figure out the solution? So if I don't want a list of employees, I want the list of string, just the employee names who are in the IT department. How will I do that? It's just a fun exercise. Let's see. Can you repeat the question? So now it is giving a list of employees, right? Like this. I instead want just the list of employee names, just Bob and David. That's it. List of employee names. how will you modify this function to, modify the stream operation to get that? Filter gives employee only. Correct. Filter gives employee only, but it gives the whole employee object, right? I want a list of string like this. Write a map on filter. Okay. So if I do dot map, then what? What should I write here inside the map function? I think your chat is not coming through. Yeah, my comments are not going through. I understand. Okay, so it is employee name. That's it. Simple. So once you do this, my phone's battery is going down. Anyway, I'll charge it. Okay, so once you do this, you will just have the employee names. So we don't need to, I'll return null here, and I'll just print this and say what will happen. Okay, sys out, and if I run this, the test case will fail because we are returning null, but the answer is Bob and Dave. We got the names that we are looking for. Okay, so yeah, good. We will end this stream here. Let me undo that change. Okay, rerun the tests again. All tests passed. Okay, all 21 tests passed, and we will look at the next stream. Okay, we'll join for another stream. What's the time now? It's almost 3, so we'll join at 3:30, 3:45 for the next stream. We can do the next level in this stream itself, but I am actually putting this as a playlist so that people can see it in the future also, and pick up easy problems or hard problems, things like that. Okay, so can you quickly show the methods you have used in this stream? Okay, let's do that. We started with 11, right? Yeah, this is the 11th question. So the first thing was find the first element greater than given x. So we got this many numbers, and the first element greater than 10 is 12, right? So that is what they wanted to do. They didn't want us to sort it and then find or anything like that. In this list itself, what is the first element? So we do a filter, and the filter function says any number that is greater than, the given number 10, and then you find first. So find first is the first function that we saw, API, stream API we saw in the stream, and then sort by length. So we are doing a custom comparator where we are doing Comparator.comparing string length. That was the next function that we saw. This is not a function of stream itself. Streams sorted has a overloaded function which takes a comparator. So comparator is a different concept completely in Java. There you have the comparing this. So by that we are comparing. Okay, and then the next thing is flatten a given list, where we use the flatMap function. This one, the flatMap function is used to convert a 2-dimensional array into a single dimension. So if you see here, this is an array of array, or you can say a list of list, and we are flattening that whole thing into a single dimension with 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? This is in a single dimension. Okay, that was flatMap. Then we had calculate average, which was a simple average function on the int stream. So mapToInt gives us an int stream. So on the int stream, there is a average function which we are calling. Okay, then we had a partitioning by to partition things into even and odd number. So this creates a map whose key is false and true. There will be a true key and false key, and you have even numbers in the true and odd numbers in the false. So how did it become true? Because we are seeing if num mod 2 equal to 0. It's essentially saying all even numbers. So is even, if it is true, it goes into this list. If is even is false, it goes into this list. Okay, so here it was the normal collect, but then collectors has a partitioning by. Okay, so this is something related to collectors. The next one was find the second smallest number. So in here we are doing the skip function. I think this is the first time we are doing the skip function. No, we are not. So we are doing skip and find first together for the first time, and then we get a result out of it. So what they're asking is second smallest. So in here we should sort this array first, and then in that find the second smallest number, which is 5, right? So to get the second smallest, we have to skip one element. So you shouldn't put 2 here, then it will skip 2 items and it will go to 8. So we have to skip only the first item. We got 5. Okay, and then we return that. So why find first returns an optional is if there are let's say the array was only this much. Okay, there is nothing else, there is only 3 in the array, so your find first will not return anything, it will return a null. So you have to always remember that. So if at all it return null, we are doing an or else. So if it was null, it will return -1, but in our case it doesn't return null, it gives a value 5, right? So it returns that value 5. Then you have convert string array to map with length. Map with length. So what we are doing here is we are doing the collectors.toMap. This is the first time we are doing the collectors.toMap, where the mapping function says what should be the key and value of the map. So we are saying the key should be the value of the string itself. So apple, banana, kiwi, this is the value of the string itself, and value should be the length of the string. So length of the string is like 5, 6, 4. Okay, that was that. And then we had limit stream to first n elements. So we saw skip, right? The opposite of skip is limit. Okay, so skip actually skips the first few elements. Limit skips the last n elements, how many ever you want. So when they're saying limit it to, let's say 3, so 3 is what they're saying, right? So when they say limit it to 3, it skips the remaining items. So you can, this will be their answer. So 10, 20, 30 will be your answer. Okay, so that is what we did here. We took a stream and then limited it to whatever n they gave, and then converted it to a list. Okay, limits the string, right? The next thing is contains element. So contains element, for a string you have the naive solution, which is simply check strings.contains and you give a value, it will actually automatically check that. But since they asked us to use streams, we are doing streams, we do stream, and then we are seeing if anything at all matches the function we are giving, and the function that we gave was the string should be equal to the search element that they give. If even one element matches that in this whole array, it will return true, the boolean will be true, and that is what we are returning. Okay, 20th question, group strings by their first character. So here we saw grouping by for the first time, and what they are asking to group by is the first character of the string. Okay, so string starting with A are apple, apricot, avocado. String starting with B is just banana, and string starting with C is just cherry. I think I deleted the remaining of the output by mistake. I'll add that. Okay, so that is the result we got. So we are simply grouping it by _0. _0 is the first character of the string. Here any match should work. No, I don't know which one you are talking about. Are you talking about the 20th question? Above one? 19th question? We are using any match, right? Oh, you mean any match of element? No, you have to give a function to it. No. This takes in a function, not an object. So if you do element, it doesn't work like that. So any match should be it's a predicate, right? You can't just give the element. Yeah, you can't. So because it doesn't know what to do with the element, do you want to check if it starts with this element, does it equal this element? It doesn't know what to do. So you have to say that string should equal to the element. That is the only way. Okay. Yep. And grouping by, we saw, yeah, it groups with the first character. And then the last question, we are filtering out employees whose department name equals the department that is given. Okay, so it's a simple filter, and then we are drilling down onto the employees department name, and then we're converting it to a list and returning it. Okay, this is not needed. Okay, fine. Recap done. Anything else? Thank you. So meanwhile, I will commit all of this solution to the first all of the assignments to a new branch called solutions. I didn't add it yet. I'll create a new branch called solution and commit everything. So if you guys are guys want to try everything from scratch again, you can simply fork this repository, and it will just have only the questions. Okay, you can try it on your own. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for appreciating the great session. We'll end it here. So see you again in the next stream for the level 2 questions. Okay, we'll probably join at 4 because I have to do some preparation for the next stream. 4 p.m. today we'll join Indian time. Okay, thank you all. Thank you for joining in. Bye. Have a nice day. Happy Diwali.